Hey, Winston Frederick Sterzel. I got a really fun one for you today. I think you'll like this. You hadn't posted a video in a few days, and I got a little bit bored. And then a video popped up in my YouTube homepage, right? You know how you open your homepage, got some recommended videos. It was from you guys. It was something about Shills from your China Fact Chasers. The one with the CCP SHILLMASTER's interview. He sent you some written questions. Recently, I've had a bunch of your followers call me a shill in my comments section on different videos. So I took a look at the video, and this is my video reply.
There's this weird phenomenon where we've talked about it before, and you all know about this. There are certain people that are working for Chinese state media, working for the CCP, foreigners, other YouTubers, who constantly are on the attack against...
We call them the shills.
Yeah, I call them the shills. Newsflash.
Let's take a look at the true definition of shills. This definition comes from the Cambridge Dictionary. In case you want to take a look, look it up. Here's the definition. Shill. Anyone who says anything that Winston Frederick Sterzel does not agree with. Wait, what? Okay, I'm joking, right? I'm joking. Although it seems that is the definition your followers are using, right? Here is the real definition of shill. Someone who helps another person, and I would say that probably includes a company, to persuade people to buy something, especially pretending to be a satisfied customer, right? Kind of like a snake oil salesman. They obviously didn't try that stuff. So now, I'd like to ask you, do the following video clips fit that description? What do you think?
I use Surfshark VPN. It's the best one that I've tested, and I've been using it for years now. I
repeated for years now, for obvious reasons, to make a point, right? That I wanted to stress that. The next clip is only a little over a year old.
NordVPN is the easiest VPN to use, and it's our VPN of choice.
Oh, maybe you got confused, right?
I wouldn't recommend anything to you guys that I don't personally use myself.
Surfshark VPN is Winston and I's favorite VPN because it's so easy to use.
And the best VPN to use is NordVPN.
Okay, which one is it, Winston Frederick Sterzel?
Today's video is sponsored by NordVPN, and there's a good reason for this. I actually use it.
Hey babe, I'm a shill, but none of my followers can figure it out. Here's one thing I could never figure out when you do these paid promotions for VPNs. I've seen many of them. Let's say I'm in Italy, right? I'm in Italy. And I can click here on car rent. So then I can rent a car in Czech Republic at a discount, right? Huh? I'm in Italy.
The CCP sycophants and the ultra-nationalists in China cannot stand me or Sea Milk.
Out of all your videos I've ever watched, I've never heard you call Sea Milk by his real name, even once. I've never heard you say it once. And I've seen more than just a few of your videos. He calls you by your name all the time. It's like you put him on the same level as Beer Girl.
The CCP sycophants and the ultra-nationalists in China cannot stand me or Sea Milk. The reason is that we tell the inconvenient truths that they want to hide.
There's this handful of people left over.
A handful of people?
There are hundreds and hundreds.
Hundreds and hundreds?
And you have these Western people, native English speakers that make these videos by the thousands.
By the thousands! Well, these three clips are all from this same video. I did edit them together.
Their idea is, how are we going to shut down Winston and Sea Milk?
You even got Sea Milk not saying his own real name.
I suck the dong, or the G-bob. Their idea is, how are we going to shut down Winston and Sea Milk?
As you know, Winston Frederick Sterzel, there is no reason to go after Sea Milk. If you go down, you will do everything in your power to make sure Sea Milk goes down with you. Won't you, Winston Frederick Sterzel? I'm confident that you feel that you are the reason for his 1 million subscribers. Yet you still can't stand the fact that he got a gold play button. Can you, Winston Frederick Sterzel.
Just so you can get an idea about how obsessed these people are about us.
If you want to know what the definition of living in your head rent-free is,
Yes.
this is that definition.
please.
Obsessed? You're living in my head rent-free? Really? If you're living in my head rent-free, then you have 1.4 billion people living in your head rent-free, Winston Frederick Sterzel. I bet you still got some space open too, Winston Frederick Sterzel.
The fact that state media in China is incentivized to go out and make hate videos about us, it shows you what kind of impact we have.
I know, it's crazy.
Oh my gosh.
Anyway,
that was-
we love it.
Delusions of grandeur. If you don't believe that's a delusion of grandeur, go to a psychologist. Repeat that statement that you just said and ask them what they think.
And so when I talk about a particular topic, I can back it up by showing actual video evidence of what I've seen and experienced.
It's interesting that you say, when I talk about a particular topic, while you are scrolling through old content. That's quite interesting.
I can back it up by showing actual video evidence of what I've seen and experienced.
Pretty much all your content today comes from either other people's content or your old content, doesn't it? It seems that you've used up all your old material, some of it many times. Here, I'll give you an example or two or three. This one is from a video about how Chinese people like crowds. And they do. Look at the cute little girl with the bunny ears. Now the same clip, but taken from the video about China stealing air.
To know what it's like to be a sweaty sardine in a can of body odor? Guangdong summers are what you're looking for.
Here's another clip from the China stealing air video with people in a library in their winter coats.
If you call a crowded room peaceful anyway. They're not there for the sometimes fake but always boring state-condoned and censored books, which...
And here's the same clip from a video about fake libraries. Although this time, the scary music is in the library. This next clip is from the same fake libraries video that you did, but check out the clip you used for your paid promotion. It's the same clip you used in your awful Nowhere Girls video. That was just awful. You have at least 5 channels to use these clips again and again and again. Recycling, right? Your followers seem none the wiser, so good for you. You have Serpent ZA, you got Lawai86, The China Show, ADV China, and China Fact Chasers. Actually, that last one, China Fact Chasers, is made up entirely of used material. It's getting views, so I gotta hand it to you, Winston Frederick Sterzel. I mean, that's some great marketing, right? Or good decision anyway, very little work and you get some money out of it. It's like actually free money, isn't it?
And of course, I don't only focus on the bad things, I focus on good things too, but I do focus on the bad things because nobody talks about them.
Of course, I have to add in the double speak from the video. Classic double speak, Winston Frederick Sterzel.
Most of the CCP Shill channels, you'll probably notice, got their start by attacking me, or Seamilk.
Okay, that statement is a total lie. Even my channel, 86 Lawai, was started from my Wu Jiao channel. So many of my subscribers had no idea who you are. I had to start a new channel or risk losing subscribers because they were leaving some weird comments. I can only think of one other channel that got started to attack you.
Then they make videos attacking me or Seamilk, and suddenly they get a huge support base. And this is because there are a lot of CCP, 50 Cent Army, Wu Mao trolls out there, ultra-nationalists.
Have you seen my views and or subscribers, Winston Frederick Sterzel? Another case of delusions of grandeur, although not as grand as the earlier one.
They will give them support. And of course, the state, Chinese state-run media and the Chinese state, we all know, back these shills and they back these ideas. So when they attack me or Seamilk, they love it. And so they make sure that they get a backing and a viewership. So it's an easy way to get views.
It's not true, and you know it's not true. But it may be difficult for you to admit it, Winston Frederick Sterzel, because of those delusions of grandeur.
So, my advice to all the sycophant shills out there is to start making your own damn content for once. How about putting out some good, compelling content that people can look at and admire and want?
Are you listening to yourself? You just finished saying 50 Cent Army, Wu Mao, ultranationalists, and the government of China will also make sure that I get viewership if all I do is attack you, right? Seems pretty simple compared to coming up with unique content. I think you know that. So I'd like to end this video with an example of just how out of touch you are, Winston Frederick Sterzel, with, today's China, or even China from a couple years ago. First, you weren't here for any part of COVID, and COVID is now just like a distant memory, right? But it would be difficult for me to forget that during COVID, for some of the zero COVID days, I did have to get a COVID test every day.
By the way, throwback over here in our background to
COVID lines.
Yeah, COVID lines. For those of you who don't know, you would have to line up multiple times a day to get a COVID test shoved up your nostril.
Not once during the entire virus did I need to get a test more than once in a day. Often it was every 2 days, or sometimes even once a week, depending on the number of people around me. But I also remember that not a single virus test was up my nose. I was a bit worried about that because, I saw it on TV and it looks pretty painful, Winston Frederick Sterzel. The throat test was a little bit annoying, but it was also good for oral health since I think everyone would brush their teeth more often and maybe even brush their tongue, right? Because, you're going to get that test in your mouth.
Newsflash. You may as well give up on life. Seriously.